Good morning, everyone. Welcome to 2016 Cafe Cicero. I would like to remind the debaters. Please walk to the lectern to give your constructive speech. Please stand by a lectern for a cross-exam. Also, please make sure to turn off your cell phone and do not use flash when you're taking pictures. Do not clap your hands or walk around during the debate. Thank you and good luck. First affirmative, constructive speech, 4 minutes.
The resolution that Taiwanese government should abolish the use of hiring seats on public transportation should stand for the following reasons. First, having priority seat has caused too many conflicts between people. Second, people should not give up their seat because of the pressure from the society. Third, public transportation is for all people and having priority seat is not fair. Back to the first reason, priority seats are causing too much conflict. People don't understand the use of priority seats. Recently, there are many people who are criticized for sitting on priority seat, even though they don't seem to fall into any of the category for priority seat on appearance. A few months ago, there was a man who was almost blind. He was brought up to the MRT and was led to the priority seat. A while later, a woman asked him in an offensive tone if he was really a priority seat passenger and why he was sitting on it. He replied in a polite manner that he couldn't see very well. The woman still kept asking him to get up. This shows that people don't understand the purpose of priority seat is for people in need. Instead, it has been to a fair for the general public to sit on priority seat. Therefore, if we abolish priority seat, we can reduce such conflict and seat will not be wasted. By doing so, it will benefit the greatest amount of people because the group of people that needs priority seat is only a small part of the society. Utilitarianism said it all. It means we should strive for the best amount of goods for the best amount of people. Here's the second reason. People should not give up their seat because of the pressure from the society, but simply because it is the right thing to do. This pressure we're talking about is from feeling guilty for sitting on priority seats, which means this is not a positive pressure. Giving priority seats to priority passenger is the right thing to do. We shouldn't have any pressure of doing it. This is what we stand. Every seat should be a priority seat. Instead of having with people with different understanding of what priority seat means, we need to simply educate everyone, especially young people, on helping those in need. Because right now, if people aren't in the priority seat, they won't get up. They think it is their right to stay on their seat because it is not a priority seat. They become indifferent to people in need and justify their own action by saying it is not priority seat. Our last statement is that people should receive the same amount of service or privilege. Certainly, there are no penalties for those who do not give up their priority seat for those in need. We cannot judge how effective it is to have priority seat installed in all public transportation. Public transportation is for the public. That means all people. In fact, we should not feel guilty if we are the first who sit onto the seat. First come, first serve. For instance, if we get to the restaurant earlier than others, then we should be taken to the seat and be served earlier than others. The value of this point is fairness. Fairness means people should be treated the same way when they meet the same requirement. This example we just gave has a strong connection to the argument we made. That is, we all receive equal rights in the society, and that we give up our seat to those in need anytime, anywhere. We should not give up our seat, only when it is labeled priority seat. These are the three reasons that the resolution that Taiwanese government should abolish the use of priority seat on public transportation should stand.
Second negative clause examines first authority. 2 minutes.
Good morning. Okay, so let me clarify something. You believe that all these conflicts result from a misunderstanding of the use of privacy, correct?
Yes.
All right. And you brought up the example of a blind man being forced to yell to see. Is this an exception? Are there any other conflicts?
Actually, about 4 months ago, there was a first girls' school student, and
Thank you. Are these two the only evidence you have that there are conflicts?
no.
All right then. You've mentioned that people should yield because it is the right thing to do. Do you believe that people will yield? People who do not yield now will yield after you abolish the party seats?
No, because most of the people in Taiwan want to abolish.
So that is your only reason for wanting abolishment.
No. Privacy has cost too much money.
Correct. Now you mentioned that you want every seat to be a party seat. Is that your plan?
Yes.
But if you want every seat to be a party seat, you still want them to be first come, first served, correct?
Yes.
So how's that party seat?
What I mean is, every seat, first come, first served, and so on. People should give up their seat.
Thank you. Is your plan only including making every seat a party seat? Do you have any other plans?
No.
All right, done. Now, you mentioned that people who need a seat is a small part of society, and you are going to abolish the party seats because they are only a small part of society, correct?
Yes.
So you're ignoring the rights of the minority.
No. Because we have to strive for the best amount of.
But you are still ignoring the rights of the minority if you abolish the party seats.
But
First negative constructive speech. 4 minutes.
Good morning. First, I would like to give some rebuttal. So first of all, the affirmative themselves have stated that their plan is to make every seat a priority seat, but this debate is about abolishing the priority seats. So they are not on the track. And now, first of all, they do not have any proof besides 2 examples that there is a lot of conflict happening on priority seats. And so their harm is not severe enough, and we plead the affirmative to give more evidence or maybe statistics. And next of all, priorities, let us define priority seats. Under current Taiwanese law, Article 53 of People with Disabilities Rights Protection Act states that at least 15% of the seats in public vehicles must be priority seats. Why? Priority seats provide substantive equality for the needy. Substantive equality as an unequal treatment that benefits the needy and the disabled, which protects human rights, basic human rights, and is guaranteed in Article 7 of our Constitution. These people have a priority to sit on these seats. On the other hand, sitting on regular seats are the lawful rights of anyone who has paid their fee. This difference in purpose is what improves the quality of needy people when taking public transportation while minimizing the violation of the rights of regular passengers. So we believe that seats on public transportation should not be first see, first get, or rather we should consider unequal treatment and substantive equality. It is also calculated that after 2011, more than 68 million rides have been taken on public transportation each year in Taipei by people aged above 65. Our aging society will only increase the number, and when we take the number of others who are also in urgent need of seats, such as children and the disabled, the number is considerably large. Thus, we contend that it is necessary for priority seats to exist in order to maintain substantive equality. Notice that this calculation only refers to Taipei. In fact, public transportation holds account for 37% of all traffic in Taipei. Keelung has 33%, New Taipei has 31%. But all other counties only have less than 14%. This indicates that priority seats is only an issue in areas in and surrounding Taipei City. Thus, a law to abolish all priority seats across the country is unnecessary. Therefore, we propose to keep the status quo with a minor repair, which is a clarification of the correct use of priority seats, and will end arguments over priority seat usage. Now, the affirmative has said that they believe all conflicts result from misunderstandings, and our plan so says how. To begin with, priority seats is to remind people, its original purpose is to remind people to yield their seats to the disabled and the needy. Some people now think of priority seats as exclusive seats, meant to be sat on only by the 4 categories and assigned on public transportation. These people overreact over regular people sitting on priority seats, causing cyberbullying and unneeded pressure on public transportation. To solve this problem, we propose to have the government clarify the correct use of priority seats, or to stop people from misinterpreting in the first place, thus ending disputes over priority seats and solving all harms. This clarification will be delivered clearly to the people who take public transportation by advertisements on TV sets, on MRT platforms, and broadcast on public buses. Aside from our plan, the Taipei government and Taipei Metro have also noticed that the public has not taken full advantage of priority seat identification stickers, pregnant baggage, and other resources. This is why we believe that we do not need to abolish the priority seat. Thank you. And I'll send you for cross-examination.
First affirmative cross examines first negative. 2 minutes.
How can you define priority group?
Priority group. Do you mean priority seats, the 4 groups on priority seat signs? If that's the case, then we believe that priority seats are not only set for those 4 groups, but to all people who need priority seats, even if all they have is a headache.
How can you punish a priority group person if he or she sits on the priority seat while people with disabilities can
We
have
do not have such a plan, as we propose that people should be willing to use their seats, as this is a voluntary action. And also, if they are sitting on regular seats, then that is the lawful right of their rights, because they have paid the fee to sit on.
Are there any laws that can punish people who don't give up their seats?
No, there isn't.
Does people pay to ride public transportation?
Yes, we have something that can restrict the speech.
Then why do we have to let priority people to sit on seats?
As we said, priority seats provide substantive equality for the needy, and this is an unequal treatment that benefits the disabled and the needy, protecting basic human rights, and is guaranteed in our constitution.
How about the poor people's rights?
Priority seats are improving the quality of needy people when taking public transportation, while minimizing the violation of rights of regular passengers. That is why we believe that priority seats exist and is suitable.
Will you give up your table to another who comes later while you're eating at the
I
restaurant?
do not believe this position is relevant.
Then why should we give up this our seat?
I said that I believe this is irrelevant.
Second affirmative constructive speech. 4 minutes.
People believe that privacy promote a part of social justice, which is taking care of the least advantaged member of the society, but in fact it doesn't. For example, when a person in a priority group asks a non-priority group person to give up their priority seat and they refuse, does that person in the priority group get a seat? The answer is no. And just like what my opponent said, there's no law to punish the person who refused to give up a seat. In that case, there's no difference between having priority seat or not. So having priority seat does not really benefit anyone, including the priority group. According to social justice, if we pay the same amount of money or even more than the priority group, we should get the same service as they do. Public transportation is for the public, that means all people. First come, first serve. We should not feel guilty if we're the first one to sit onto the seat. not their responsibility to bear in the first place. People are accused to be selfish and heartless by not giving up their seats, but in fact, it's no one's responsibility to do so. Just like Robert said, first come, first serve. People don't have to feel guilty only because they're not giving up their seats. If we abolish the use of priority seat, everyone can sit on every seat. That there won't be any seat that is wasted, and people can still give up their seat for the priority group. But not because of where they sit. It's because that they think it's the right thing to do, and it's really helping the priority group. Our team stands that every seat should be a priority seat, which means we color every seat into regular seats, but people should learn to give up their seat when they see a person in the priority group. Instead of having people with different understanding of what priority seat means, we should just simply educate everyone on helping those in need. We should teach everyone to volunteer to give up their seat for people who really need it. People should be giving up their seat simply because it's the right thing to do. Our team believes that priority seat has caused too many conflicts between people. Of course, we can try to deal with those conflicts, but people who can be educated live in our society too. I'm not saying that we should give up their rights, but we don't have to give up our opportunities to live in a better society just because of those very small amount of people. We want to live in a society which people help each other, be kind to each other, but those conflicts won't help to reach that goal. Our team strongly believes that social harmony is a lot more important in order to create a society that we dream of. Abolishing the use of privacy can help decrease misunderstanding between people. Therefore, people will be nice to each other and won't be causing so many conflicts. Also, it is hard for people to define who should be in the priority group. Because of that, people often have arguments about who should sit in the priority seat, which cause disharmony between them. We should abolish the use of priority seats in order to get rid of these problems permanently. By doing so, it will benefit the greatest amount of people. Based on these reasons above, Taiwanese government should abolish the use of priority seats on public transportation.
First, negative cross exams. Second, affirmative. 2 minutes.
Are you abolishing a priority seat because there are no laws enforcing it?
Because when a person in a priority group needs that seat, but the person who's a non-priority group.
Is education your plan to educate people to use their seats more often?
It's one of them.
So how will you do this? Is there a plan?
Of course, we can educate people and we can put more signs and on the TV.
So you propose to put more signs and advertisements on the MRT. What is your budget? Where is your money for this?
Of course, we can try out this because.
So you can try this. Do you have any evidence for this budget, or are you just is there any budget?
Because if we want to create a better society.
Thank you. Is the blind man example and the other of TFG girls the only two evidence you have of pressure? Then can you please give further evidence?
A few months ago.
Do you have statistics, or are these examples only exceptions?
No.
Then do you have a percentage of incidents or numbers except from one example or two examples or such? No, thank you. Do you have further proof of conflict happening regularly on the MRT or any other form of public transportation?
You can see it on the news that everything like these problems happen in our everyday life.
Thank you. So you don't have any proof. How will you solve your own harms that you propose?
Second, negative constructive speech. 4 minutes.
construct this speech, I would like to start with some rebuttal. First of all, the affirmative asked us what was the difference between party seats and regular seats. Now, party seats are a reminder that people should yield and that the minority should have their rights protected. This is why we have the party seats, as my first speaker has already stated. Secondly, public transportation is defined as people who pay the same fare but do not get specific seats. This does not mean the firm has referred to public transportation as people who pay the same fare and therefore they should get the seat. This is not the correct definition of public transportation, therefore they cannot use it in their plan to abolish the party seats. Now, I would like to start my constructive. While the firm that moves to abolish the party seats claim to relieve social pressure, they are not solving anything. They have no follow-up plan to protect the underprivileged. There is no detail in their education plan, and they have no feasibility or budget. The rights of the underprivileged is a major concern of this debate. In short, the affirmative is violating the rights of the minority, which is against the People with Disabilities Rights Protection Act and against Article 7 of the constitutional law that protects the minority. The negative, as my first speaker has already mentioned, has a much more effective minor repair to address concerns over the party seats, and I would love to reiterate my partner's statement. First of all, the negative proposes that the government clarify the meaning of the purpose of the party seats, which means we will tell everyone that this is first come, first served, but you must yield to a needy person. We will also encourage passengers to use the party seats when they are empty. This will be done through the media, audio broadcasting, and posters, which will solve the conflict over empty party seats in the metro train or the bus. The budget for this is, we haven't evidence for the budget of the should the affirmative ask for. The majority of the conflicts, as the affirmative has agreed to in our previous cross-examination, comes from the misinterpretation of the purpose of the party seat. But helping people understand that sitting in the party seat is not a crime or misbehavior, and that everyone is allowed to sit in them as long as they yield their seats to the needy, we can solve the majority of the conflicts. Secondly, there is already an ongoing plan to add people with internal disabilities to one of the 4 groups eligible to the party seats. The affirmative did not clarify this harm, but we believe that one of the harms they brought up was that people with invisible needs are discriminated or ignored. People eligible for the new people with internal disabilities group include those whose needs for their seats cannot be seen, such as a sick or visually impaired person. The Taiwan Metro is also handing out party seat stickers that will achieve the same ends as the new additional party group, and is currently promoting the ask for such stickers to the posters and display boards on the train. Our evidence card for this shows that the stickers have a 60% success rate. You will notice that without abolishing the party seats, we the negative are reaching the same means and benefits as affirmative via our minor repair, which much less hassle. With the inability of the affirmative to provide a plan that serves an actual solution to the current problems at hand, and with our minor repair effectively addressing the current conflicts over the party seats, we the negative have capably removed all doubts without abolishing the party seats. I now stand ready for cross-examination.
Second affirmative cross-exam, second negative. 2 minutes.
Do people in the non-party group pay the same or even more to ride public transportation than people in the party?
Which modes of public transportation are you referring to?
Do you know that social justice also declares that if people accomplish their obligation, they should receive the same benefits?
Could you clarify that?
It means that, according to social justice, it says that if people have finished their duty, they should receive the same benefits.
Well, as I already mentioned in my constructive speech, public transportation, the definition of public transportation is that
Do you agree that privacy has caused conflicts?
we agree to this one, which is why we have a minor
Do you
repair.
agree that conflicts will obstruct us from living in a better society?
Could you clarify that?
Do you agree that conflicts will block us from living in a better society?
Which is why we have a minor repair.
Do you agree that social harmony is important in order to live in a society where people have each other?
Social harmony is important in society.
Do you agree that abolishing the use of privacy is a possible way to solve conflicts problem?
No.
So do you mean that we should live in a, so do you have a way to solve conflicts besides abolishing?
Yes, as I mentioned in my constructive speech, we have a minor repair to repair private use.
So how can you please tell again how can you define privacy?
Party group includes 4 groups, including the 5th additional group that I mentioned in my constructive speech. There's the weak, the elderly, the young, and people with disabilities. Thank you.
Thank you.
Preparation period for rebuttal speech, 5 minutes.
will start out by clarifying the harms and then both sides' plans and comparing them and why our plan is much better than theirs. So the harms that the affirmative side has brought up includes conflicts among people and social pressures forcing people to yield, and 3, it's not fair. But in a cross-examination session, they have actually agreed that all of these harms occur because of a misinterpretation of the priority seat's use. So to solve this issue, we, the negative, have proposed a minor repair to have the government clarify the right use of priority seats and then promote this use. With our plan clearly corresponding with their harm, we actually solve all of their harms altogether. So moving on to the both sides' plans. So their plan includes education. Unfortunately, they have failed to provide any details or any budget, and they have actually said they don't believe that everyone can be educated. So they themselves have invalidated their own plan. Some main points that they brought up include that people sitting on regular seats do not yield their seats. This, they have said, is one of the main reasons for conflict. But that's very contradictory to their plan because they want to make every seat a priority seat. If people who sit on regular seats don't yield right now, what do you think would make them yield after you abolish the priority seats, when that reminder of the minority, when that reminder of people's rights is gone? Nothing. People would not yield. And in addition, they have made a huge contradiction to their own case. So they want to have a first come, first served plan. However, they still want every seat to be a priority seat. They have stated that people should not feel guilty if you don't yield your seat to someone who needs it. But then they still say, we think every seat should be a priority seat. It's very contradictory, it doesn't make any sense. Moving on to my next point, is that they have stated that people who need a seat is a small part of society. We have evidence to suggest that it is not. As we have, my previous speakers have stated, that 68 million rides were taken by people above 65 years old. This does not include people with invisible needs, with people with pregnancy or injuries. This is just the elderly. This is not a small part of our society. They claim that utilitarianism is the right way to go, but we believe that basic human rights should not be defined by utilitarianism. If utilitarianism is all our society is, why do we have health care for people? Why do we have social welfare? We believe that utilitarianism is not the right way to govern a civilized society. Our plan solves all of the harms that they brought up. First, because we clarify. Second, to restate our plan, currently in the status quo, there is already an icon to add invisible needs and a sticker. So we believe that we clearly take this debate. Thank you.
Third, affirmative rebuttal, 3 minutes.
Now I'm going to tell the reasons why Taiwanese government should abolish the use of priority seats on public transportation. First, I would like to talk about why my opponents argument failed. My opponents say that there are only 2 evidence which is wrong because the misunderstanding happens every day in our life. They say their disabled person should get a seat because they're in a private group, which is wrong because like what my teammates say. First come, first serve. You won't give your seat to an elder who comes after you when you're dining in a restaurant. My opponent also said that priority seat is a volunteer action, so it means the priority group does not really get benefit from it. My teammates asked my opponent whether he gives his seat to the elder when he's dining in a restaurant, and my opponents can't answer this question. We pay to ride public transportation. We also pay to eat in a restaurant. Just like what my teammates say. First come, first serve. Priority seat is not fair, so we should abolish the use of priority seat. Giving seat to people in a priority group is a kind action, but we don't really have to do it. Like what I just said, we all pay to ride public transportation. What my opponents say, the priority seat is just a sign, which means people don't get benefit from it. Like my opponents say, the priorities is a reminder. People don't get punished if they're never presented on it. My opponents say that they can solve all the conflicts, which is wrong, because people who can be educated now live in a community we're living in. They mentioned about the stickers, which shows that people does not get their seat because they're sitting on priority seat, because they see people in need. These are the reasons their arguments are stronger than our opponents. Our first argument is,
Having priority seat has caused too many conflicts between people. People don't understand the use of the priority seat. The misunderstanding has led to fear for the general public to sit on a priority seat. We should abolish the use of priority seats so we can reduce such conflict, and seats will not be waste. The second reason, giving seats to priority passengers is the right thing to do, but we shouldn't have any pressure of doing it. People get their seats to a priority group, not because they're sitting on a priority seat. They give their seat because they see people in need. Last but not least, public transportation is for the public. It means all people. First come, first serve. We should not feel guilty if we're the first to sit onto the seat. The value of this point is fairness. Fairness means people should be treated the same way when they meet the same requirements. People should get a seat when they pay the same amount of money. These are the 3 reasons that the resolution that Taiwanese government should abolish the use of the priority seats. Thank you.
Now, we respectfully request each judge to make an independent decision. Then the simple majority from the 3 judges wins. Finally, please allow one judge to walk to the lectern to give us some remarks. Before leaving, please remember to give back your ballot sheet and your result sheet. Thank you.